Fires and Magic, Rise of Spider-Man, Homecoming Part 2. Somebody in the earlier comments put down that I could easily be watching Homecoming instead. They're right. I could be. 16 days remain. Dun dun. Oh, wait. Oh, God, we're having a flashback. Pierce stood by the window, the breeze the outside pressing his vein. The entire world knew his secret, and he couldn't be happier. He wore his costume, but left his mask on a nightstand. Twilight found her way to his side, the pair sharing a loving smile before holding hands. The night they shared was wondrous, the emotional and physical solidifying of the relationship. Peter's gaze fell to the ground, a sad, expressive filling his eyes. He didn't want to leave, of course. Knowing everything was as perfect as it felt, but he had a matter to attend to. Twilight, as if reading his mind, used her magic to levitate his backpack to their position. You shouldn't keep Spitfire waiting too long, she said. Peter nodded, firing a stranded weapon across the room to retrieve his mask. Twilight smiled warmly at her stallion. Long mane pulled back into a ponytail. He reached over to where her face rested, pulled out a small flower, and with the utmost care, Peter slid it into Twilight's mane, next to her ear. Oh! Her cheeks grew hard. Peter, you made the promise we made to each other last night. Peter placed himself behind his mare's shoulder. I'll never leave you behind. Blood filled the cheeks of both ponies before their lips met in a passionate kiss. They remained as such, savoring each other's taste. Twilight moaned inside Peter's mouth as his tongue explored the sanctions, touching the most sensitive areas with gentle precision. She melted into the act of affection, bending to her lover's will, but they eventually parted, leaving only due to their need for oxygen. Peter's lips curled to a wide smile as his Twilight's face flushed invincibly. He offered his hoof, and with a soft nod she accepted the gesture. Now take your violet irises away. Peter grinned. No matter what happens. Twilight grinned. We'll see everything through together. That was very important. Can't you see it in my eyes? Within the dark room, with black curtains, Madame Webb sat down with her hands clutching at the arms of her chair. Spider blazed this. She stared intently at the orb that covered his her face. Pierre's image appeared, and the screen grew black, showing fuzzy as the vision progressed. Everything within the orb grew distorted, causing the memory to shatter. Madame Webb cursed under her breath, irritation was evident in her voice. She extended her hand, creating another orb to form a palm. When the second Spider-Man's image appeared, the same thing occurred, leaving the woman to groan desolately. I can no longer see the date of Spider-Man's death. Cassandra leaned forward in her seat, cupping her hands over her mouth. Peter is losing connection to the web. Why? 31 days remain until the portal closes. Spikes soared across the sky, piercing through every cloud in his path, and Twilight and Spider-Man sat on a custom-made saddle on the dragon's back. Means created by the girl to provide comfort, as well as prevent impalement on his body's razor-sharp spikes. A means created by the temperature at their high altitude was understandably low, worsened by the wind chill brought about flying at 5 speed. Twilight shuddered slightly, her body feeling the effects of the lower temperature, but she smiled inwardly, grateful that Peter reminded her to bring her spandex. It was provided great comfort against the chill and the wind, and made her look sexier. Spider-Man, as if sensing Twilight's discomfort, edged closer and wrapped his arms around his waist. You doing okay? Twilight's shivers lessened Pierre's warmth and spread over her. I'm fine, thanks. Pulling her back against her chest, Spider-Man tightened his grip. I know you made a promise, but you don't have to do this. Twilight, pissed off that Spider-Man would even think of muttering such a thing, proceeded to bitch-slap Peter hard off of Spike's saddle and careening towards the earth, all the while yelling in his head telepathically that she is one of the most powerful mages on the planet, and she is going to help him, and she does have to do this because she is a fucking hero, and if he don't like it, he can get off her dragon! Spike snarled, extending his wings. Got it! The dragon fell into a graceful glide. He cut through the thick cloud, prompting Peter to grip the saddle with one hand and tighten his hold on Twilight with the other. Twilight immediately bitch-slaps Peter again off the dragon, saying that she wants to ride on her own. Spike reached the end of the path and stopped mid-flight, his green eyes widening at the vessel hovering beneath. Its size was enormous, dwarfing all equestrian aerial vessels by several hundred margins. That's the Helicarrier? It's huge! Spider-Man nodded. Yeah. That thing's the biggest waste of taxpayer money in his... A blaring alarm in his cranium shut off his train of thought. Spike! Down! He yelled, using his strength to push down on the dragon's head. Yeah, because the Helicarrier so doesn't help out people. Spike's momentum plummeted just as the laser beam flew past his previous position. The dragon recovered, returning to flight. But Spider-Man tapped aside and pointed at the gunships that fastly approached from above. Spike! Find a safe place to land! You know, guys, I'm so happy. We're gonna deal with the Avengers, guys. We're gonna have to deal with the Avengers and one of my favorite X-Men. This is gonna be so awesome. Wait, martial art for user. Yeah, Trix? I just realized something. What? What if this isn't the Avengers you know and love? What do you mean? What if instead of just being the normal Avengers, this is Ultimate Cat? Do you think this A stands for France? Oh god, no. Ultimate Tony. I'm drunk 24/7. I have no other character. Oh gods. Ultimate Thor. I can't decide whether I'm a crazed hippie or an actual thunder god. And Ultimate Logan. I one time tried to fuck a teenager. Yeah. Bet that you like that interpretation of me, don't you? I'm a pedophile! Oh my god, no! Please don't let this be the Ultimates. Please, please! Just as Spider-Man hugged from the side, slid down Spike's tail, Twilight reached out to him. Wait, where are you going? To clear the airways! He replied, firing a strand of webbing onto the tail end of the gunship as it circled around for another firing attempt. Spider-Man gripped the strand with both hands before being hoisted away at high speed. Woohoo! Twilight shook her hand, guarding Peter's strength of flight. Reckless idiot. Her eyes wide. Spike, we should land. The dragon heeded her advice and descended, smoothing landily once he reached the ground. Spike lowered his head and body, allowing Twilight to step from the saddle as he misjudged the distance and nearly fell, stumbling to a standing halt. She exhaled before directing her gaze to the gunship Pierre had boarded. Come on, Pierre, what are you doing? Spider-Man crawled from the belly of the gunship to the underside of one of the wings, before finally stepping into the cockpit, 3 feet behind the pilot. Excuse me, is this a ferry to Staten Island? He asked with a shrug, flipping high overhead once the robotic pilot shot a laser from his hand. Spider-Man countered by shooting a ball of webbing into his face. The second he landed on the gunship's lower level, he grabbed the robot operating the laser cannon and threw it into the pilot, destroying both machines at once. The gunship's navigational path went into disarray, causing the vessel to fall into a nosedive. Spider-Man turned as the ground neared. Uh-oh. Flipping high into the air, Spider-Man spun several times before landing perfectly on his feet near Twilight and Spike. The gunship nosedived over the edge of the Helicarrier, continuing its descent. Twilight ran over to his side. Spider-Man, you're gonna be the death of me. I'm not going to tell you how reckless that was. Spike laughed, showing his face. Oh, don't listen to her. That was the coolest. Spider-Man waved his hands defensively, shook his head. Well, at least we're not getting shot anymore. It's your personal night. I am inclined to take some risk. I can paint some hazard and all. Dang, you're a superhero. Twilight turned sharply on her heel, then concerned her face as Spike appeared. Just don't get yourself killed on my watch. I want all of us to get back to Equestria in one piece. Her eyes returned to a bright flash. Twilight took a few steps forward, as if following its energy trail she sensed. But she stopped, black eyes widening at the huge array of magic that gathered above her position. She held her hands out, allowing violet, magical energy to emit from her palm. My crown! It's right there! Twilight, heads up! Spider-Man cried before the light greens of energy soared from the sky and rained down over the princess. Forcefully, he saw a strand of webbing onto Twilight's back and pulled her into a waiting guards out of harm's way. You okay? What was that? Twilight weakly nodded before standing under her own power. She raised her hand as it glowed and waved to the side, causing violet energy to engulf the area where the attack came from. At the same moment, someone left from the area, disappeared in a flash of light during their descent, and reappeared in a standing position from the ground a few feet from the trio. Smirking, the girl brushed her hand through her crimson yellow hair, taking a moment to stroke the violet gem on the tiara she wore. Twilight's eyes shot open. My crown! So you're Sunset Shimmer! Hup! I'm out. I do hope, Vic, that you're about to say that the only reason why this is happening is either A, because this is Sunset's own magic, or B, that this is Osborn strengthening Sunset's magic, because if this is not, you are once again pissing me off! You know, I kind of like how the magic turned Sunset into a demon because she couldn't extol the toils of friendship, you know, had a good meaning, so that Twilight was able to master the gem by focusing her own energy and racing through her friend's souls through the dimensions. You know, there was some good meaning behind that. If you do not, this is not it! Dark energy rose from Sunset Shimmer's feet and engulfed her entire body. Please give me demon, Sunset. Please, 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 please. Osborn's robots emerged from several areas around the Helicarrier, swarming around the group like bees. The energy around Sunset dissipated, revealing a transformed version of the girl. Oh, thank God! What? Can you guys forgive me for not thinking he was going to do that? I mean, come on! He hasn't exactly filled me with hope throughout the story. Belly stretched from her back, her tan skin was now a deep shade of crimson, perhaps a symbol of her malevolent intent. Perhaps? With a wicked fang smile, Sunset raised her claws and glared down at Twilight with her blues and blackened eyes. All of you, destroy Spider-Man and the dragon. The princess is mine. Spider-Man lowered his body to defensive stance. Well, that escalated quickly. Twilight held her hand out before Peter could leave her side. Shaking her head, I'll take a Shimmer. Can you watch my back and look after Spike? She faced Shimmer, whispering to Spider-Man. I have a plan. Just trust me, please. It's healing. Spider-Man nodded hesitantly, stepping in front. Okay, but I'm stepping in the moment things go south, got it? Twilight smiled. I wouldn't expect any less from my night. Shimmer spread her wings and took flight, gliding over the gathered crowd. When Twilight disappeared in a flash of light, appearing on a heightened platform next to Sunset. Shimmer lanced out with her claws, but Twilight teleported away at the last second, landing below in a closed landing bay on the deck. Both girls, as if sharing the same thought, extended their hands, launched a magical beam at each other, but their dueling energies clashed and canceled out, creating a shockwave. Twilight's keep flapped to the winds of mercy, while Sunset used her arm to shield her eyes from the dust particles in the air. Shimmer's glare deepened as her hands glowed with yellow energy. I was her student before you were even born. You're not half of what I am. After I beat you, I'll show Celestia I'm more powerful than you. I'll show her I'm worthy of being a princess. Twilight frowned, her eyes glowing with a bright light. Power isn't everything, Shimmer. True strength lies in humility. Oh yeah, you certainly showed humility before, especially when you basically kicked your friends to the curb. Bravo, bravo. Meanwhile, Osborn's robots honed in on Spider-Man and Spike. The numbers having doubled the moment Sunset, Shimmer, and Twilight left the area. Most held their guns out while the rest cackled, their voice boxes sounding similar to Green Goblin's laugh, despite their designs being that of Ultron's. Spike stood upright, his figure dwarfing everyone by a considerable margin. He snarled under his breath, burying his fangs in his oppressors. However, his green eyes fell to Spider-Man, salting at his lack of motion. But Peter, as if sensing the dragon's doubt, patted Spike's leg with the back of his hand. Spike, you're not a monster. You're just really tall, little brother. Spike, and Ray honestly chuckled, clenching his fist. These guys are robots. They aren't alive. You don't have to worry about holding back against these guys. The faster we send them to the scrap heap, the sooner we can help Twilight. His words helped ease Spike's mind. Stretching his wings, holding out his claws, Spike roared, sending vibrations through the metallic shell of the Helicarrier and all of Osborn's robots. Spider-Man took the opportunity and jumped high into the air. If I may borrow his fellow hero's catchphrase for a second, it's clobbering time! He opened fire onto the dragon first, smothering him with lasers. But Spike stood unfazed, the enemy attacking, falling to scratch his hide. He lunged forward, sending several of the mechanical creations tumbling over the edge of the Helicarrier in discombobulated places. Another robot raised his arms to smash Spike over his head, but the dragon opened his mouth, perhaps out of instinct, and unleashed a wave of emerald flames, reducing his attacker to a smoldering heap of melted metal, circuits, and ashes. Spike turned his head, finding a trio of robots swinging at his back. Raising its tail, the dragon used it as a whip and knocked enemies to the air. "Oh yeah, this rocks!" Spike cheered, swatting away each robot in his path with relative ease. Spider-Man ducked underneath the robot's punch, carried with an over-the-shoulder throw, slamming it into the ground head first. Another robot approached from behind. But Spider-Man saw a strand of webbing onto his chest plate and swung it around like a lasso, smashing every droid at near his position. Spider-Man joined back with Spike, every robot in his path down while the dragon slashed apart the remaining droids with his claws. Several laser-like beams of violet energy pierced through the chest of 5 robots, which then collapsed. Taking us back, Spider-Man flipped and landed on the shoulders of one of the bots, remained perched there as he punched the droid's head off. His blank lenses flying at the brief sight of a caged figure. Peter recognized the effeminate features, as he disappeared in a violet flash, forcing Spider-Man to focus on a new set of robots near his position. As the duo dispatched the last of robots and Osborn's mechanical forces, the battle between Sunset, Shimmer, and Twilight Sparkle raged on. Sunset threw her hands forward, sending a magical beam towards Twilight, but it scattered, homing in on the girl from 8 different angles. Twilight slammed her hands together, creating a large violet force field appear, deflecting its beam. Shimmer's energy detonated upon impact, engulfing Twilight and her field in a cloud of smoke, while a violet beam soared from behind, blasting Sunset squarely in the back. The force of her blows sending her flying into a dust cloud, shockwave clearing the path inadvertently. Her head fell over her throbbing skull as Shimmer forced herself to her feet. "Who did that?" Sunset barked, glaring in the direction the attack came from. The upper levels of the deck, she saw a figure wearing a violet cape. Shimmer's eyes widened. "You! How did you get there too?" Words fell in her throat. The force near her position faded. Twilight stepped out, placed her glowing hand against the ground, and wildly lashed it out, releasing a large yet fast wave of energy. Shimmer threw her hands up to block, but the strength of the blow was too great, sending her body flying into one of the metal walls with enough force to leave a massive dent. Shimmer fell to the ground on her knee. She raised her head, snarling at Twilight. "Why, you!" A beam shot out, slammed to the Sunset's side, knocking her across the ground into a violet roll until she was stopped by a guardrail. Her vision spun as she struggled to gather her bearings. Sunset's hand fell to the ground, but she raised her eyes, only to grasp a starlight sight. They stood with their backs pressed against each other. Violet gazes settled on Shimmer and opened, glowing hands aimed at her. It was Twilight in a duplicate of herself. Hissing, Sunset hopped to her feet and lunged out at the pair. One of the Twilights disappeared in a flash while the other rolled to the side. Sunset reared her claw back, ready to slash the Twilight that was on the ground. But the duplicate appeared next to Sunset and grabbed her via telekinesis, held her in midair while the replica stood back up. Twilight slammed Shimmer into the ground while her fly on her stomach, causing the air to rush from Sunset's lungs. Shimmer clutched at her ribs, their aches too great to ignore. She could do nothing as one of the Twilights retrieved her crown and handed it to the duplicate. They stared and nodded before disappearing in a flash. That was too easy. The Twilight that remained pulled her hood back and slipped her tiara over her head. Growing in pain, Sunset's form returned to normal as he pulled herself to a knelt position. Spike handed behind Twilight. Spider-Man flipped from a strand of webbing, taking his place by the side of his princess. "Hey, you get the crown back!" Spike cheered, pausing to scratch the back of his head. "Am I going nuts? I could have sworn I saw 2 of you a second ago. Was that a magical hologram or a duplicate?" Twilight shook her head, smiling. "Neither. That was me, 5 minutes from the future." Folding his arms, Spider-Man nodded. "So that was you that helped me a few minutes ago." He shook his head. "I mean, her future you." Shimmer shot up as she hissed. "Impossible! Star Soul couldn't perfect the art of magical time travel." Her hands still clenching her ribs, Sunset pointing angry at Twilight. "There's no way you could have done that. You're too busy. I could have seen you trying a complicated spell." Spike smirked. "So see how much you don't know. Twilight's done the time travel spell before. It's pretty easy for her." Twilight's gaze remained fixed on Sunset. "No, Spike, Shimmer's right. This spell isn't as easy as it looks. It took a moment to conjure the spell correctly. Remember when I first teleported to chase after Sunset?" Well, Spike nodded, Twilight pointing at one of the raised platforms. "When I landed there, I sent a message a few minutes back to myself. Now, do you remember when we first landed on the Helicarrier after Spider-Man took down the gunship?" Spike nodded once again, albeit with a confused expression. Twilight smiled as he tapped the side of her head. "When I first sensed the presence of my crown, that was when I got my message from my future self. She told me her plan right before Spider-Man pulled me back away from Sunset's attack. At that point, I played along, waiting for my future self to attack. It seemed that she had enough time to give you two some backup." Spider-Man chuckled, struggling. A trend-rally genius. Or say, you're the latest version of Doctor Who, or Doctor Who's in this case. Or maybe a Hosette, maybe all of us. Please tell me you have a phone booth time machine. That would totally rock. Yeah, it would, and I would be rather reading a Doctor Who story right now. Twilight rolled her eyes. Focus, Spider-Man. Glowing her eyes returned. Twilight extended her hand to Sunset as a subtle violent energy. Listen to me, Sunset. I can sense Osborn's negative influence within you. I can free you from its control. Sarah's eyes widened. You can? She asked, her voice cracking. Her pupils flashed a blank sea of yellow before returning to its normal blue color. No! She roared, voice returning to its former. Sunset raised her glowing hand high over her head. That moment, a colossal dragon soared through the sky, shadow blanketing everything under its body. It roared as it continued its flight over the other side of the Helicarrier, sending quakes through the vessel upon landing. Spike barely managed to keep its balance, whereas Twilight lost her footing completely. The Spider-Man raced out, capturing the girl in his arms before she could meet the ground. Shimmer took the opportunity to throw herself over the railing. Sunset transformed in midair, her wings flapped, allowing her to hover between the trio. Don't get cocky! This is only the start! This stupid crown won't help you get far. The Green Goblin's masters of evil will tear you apart! She snapped, clutching her side afterward. Despite her pain, Shimmer found a way to smile. Fang Fang Foom will deal with the other so-called heroes. I'll leave you three with a little parting gift. A short burst of light erupted a few feet from Shimmer's position. The figure fell and landed, the whole of its helicarrier bending under his weight. His breathing ragged and strained as he stood tall. His muscles were thick and structure was enormous, dwarfing Spider-Man in Twilight. He gritted his teeth, throwing his large hands over his head angrily. The confronting expression was evident in his green eyes. Once Sunset Shimmer snapped her fingers, the being's irises flashed yellow before he released a bellowing roar. Spider-Man stepped in front of Twilight, growling desolately. Oh no. Hulk! Destroy these three hunts who's sitting the Helicarrier! Shimmer cackled before flying off into the distance. Who is... Twilight managed. Before clinking, when Spider-Man yanked her frame to his small arms with one smooth motion. He forced the girl into the Spike's befuddled gas, before prompting Twilight to shoot Spider-Man an equally bewildered glare. Spider-Man, what are you doing? Spike, fly, now! Spider-Man yelled, forcing Spike to follow his instruction. He took to the air, but hovered closely, refusing to stray too far from her friend. Spider-Man shook his head, pointing at Dio. The Hulk is too strong. I want you to keep your distance from him. He dug nearly avoiding a grab attempt from the Hulk, wait to pair away. Don't argue, just do it! Spider-Man jumped back, swinging dodging a double-armed overhead smash. The Hulk recovered, giving Peter a glancing backhand strike. The straight behind the blow was immeasurable. Despite barely coming into contact, Spider-Man's body flew through the three walls before landing into a lifeless halt. Face down against the cold metal floor, Hulk wasted no time, jumping through the holes he made until it landed directly over Spider-Man. He paused, hesitating, but he roared, his voice echoing throughout the vicinity. Twilight's heart skipped a beat. Peter! She freed herself from Spike, teleporting through the hole in the wall. She peeked inside, violet eyes horrifying at the horrific sight of Hulk raising his arms over his head, preparing to smash Spider-Man into oblivion. Oh dear Celestia, no! Hulk growled, Hulk smash, Spider-Man! Princess Luna grins, a sharp bolt coursing through her chest. Wait! Time out. Will this have anything to do with the rest of the plot? Maybe. Okay, I'm going to do this one scene. And this has the slightest evidence of Luna fawning over Peter like a lost Lenore. You are a dead man. Celestia furrowed her brow, thinking it back from her sister's sudden change of demeanor. The Princess of the Moon shook her head, closed her eyes, attempting to calm her spiked nerves, and smoothed out the knot in her chest with labored breasts. Her eyes shot open, flashing with a bright light. An image of Peter appeared in her vision. It was brief, ending as quickly as it began. The color of Luna's eyes returned. The Princess frowned, crying to the other side of the room. The preparation is all complete. I must leave immediately, sister, Luna sternly declared, the tip of her horn glowing with energy. Wait! Celestia promptly protested, stepping forward until Luna glanced from the corner of her eye. She stared intently at her sister, knowing how tense her movements were. Although Luna appeared as firm as usual, Celestia knew better. Something is wrong. You must have sensed something. Luna's gaze fell to the ground, before she eventually nodded, hesitantly. Yes, something is not right. I fear something has happened to Peter. Glaring blue eyes returned, Mare's concern evident with them. I must hurry and ensure he is safe. I was to be by his side right now. Celestia smiled, lowered her head to embrace Peter. Then go. Why, Luna, why? Can't we just enjoy Twilight for a bit? Well, there's a reason for why Luna's there. It better not involve Luna falling over Peter! And it better not be another stupid "the gods have to do everything" clause that really pisses me off! Guys, Luna and Celestia are awesome. But unless they have a point, leave them the fuck out of it, please! Let the girls handle it! Let the mortals do it once in a while! Please, gods! Literally. We don't always need Luna and Celestia stepping in and rubbing their snouts into everybody's business. We can relax. The gods have got, the mortals have this. Let them do it. We don't need no stinking gods! Dingo, I still once over Equestria in your absence. Nimpar yelled at Helicarrier nodded. As I thought, you have also formed a connection with Pierre. You may not like it, but Pierre is special to you. Special how? More than any pony you've met in your life. The feeling starting in your chest is an indication that I am telling the truth. Oh God! Luna turned, making sister backwards to her sister. Her horn spread, engulfing her entire body in a bright light. Celestia held her smile. Cassie had a glimpse of Luna's flustered expression. Stay safe, Luna. Stay safe. You are saying it! You are actually saying... Fudge! In a bright flash of light, Luna's body disappeared from sight as well. Several accessories scattered across the room. Celestia lowered her head, a sad expression filling her irises. Luna, Twilight, Spike, Pier, Sunset, Shimmer. The fate of reality falls on you all. Come back safely. No. Pierre's mind grew fuzzy. Night of Twilight's princess coronation, Pierre's rise to knighthood led to this. During unification, he stared deeply into Twilight's glassy fire irises, nearly admiring how beautiful the mare was. Time froze, allowed both ponies to revel in each other as they held hooves. Plague flush filled their cheeks, but he didn't mind, unashamed of their emotions terrors. This was truly the height of Pierre's success. Wasn't the recognition he fought to earn the world, or rise his status he now held the title of knight and prince, which is so not Pierre, it's not even funny. No, it was the love he gained, the trust he earned from probably the best girl in existence. I pulled Pierre from a world that offered him nothing and gave him a second chance. Clean slate. Now he had friends, family, someone he would willingly die for, to protect. As long as Twilight was there in his life, Pierre sort of protected with every fiber of being. He wouldn't fail Twilight the same way he did Gwen, not when he felt this strongly for this new love. It's probably taboo to think, but deep down, Pierre loved Twilight more than Gwen. Twilight never judged him, and accepted everything about him, something Gwen would never do. I won't leave you behind. Oh gee, thanks for insulting Gwen, Peter! So glad you decided to insult her memory by saying that. Thank you, big boy! The vision slowly disappeared from his sight, but Spider-Man's head spun, making it challenging for his equilibrium to balance himself. Hulk's fist came crashing down, closing in on to fist the unaware hero. Biting down on her lip, Twilight inhaled deeply before screaming at the top of her lungs for a second time. Wake up! Gaboot! Henshin! Work up, girl! I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that joke. His senses came rushing back into the place and the sound of Twilight's voice. Last moment, Spider-Man rolled out of harm's way, causing Hulk to leave a massive dent in the middle floor instead. Before the race field monster could react, Peter flipped over his head, landing vertically, countered with an uppercut fierce enough to knock the attacker back. Hulk staggered, breathing quickening as he gritted his teeth angrily. He rushed down towards Spider-Man, but Spike landed between the two, swinging his large tail across the Hulk's chest. However, the Hulk caught the appendage with two powerful arms. Before he could do any damage, Spider-Man landed on his shoulders and shot webbing to the Green Being's face. Hulk relinquished his grip on Spike's tail, clutched the sticky webs on his face, yelling as Persistent Estates lanced on. Spider-Man shot a straight of webbing across the room and zipped over to Twilight's Persistent. Twilight grabbed him by the arm with concern filled her eyes. Can you cut that any closer? I thought I lost you for a second! Spider-Man chuckled, crunching at the ache that coursed through his body. I'd like to keep you on the edge of your seat. He lowered his head, groaning in pain, but he waved his hand dismissively, was Twilight ready to carry him through his wounds. No, I'm fine. We have to stop the Hulk first. But he's way too strong to fight head-on with just the three of us. We've gotta find a way to calm him down. Twilight furrowed her brow. I know a way we can free him from Osborn's control. She straightened her tiara, making sure it was on properly. I have my crown back, which means I can use the powers of the elements of harmony to cleanse Hulk of the Osborn's presence. What? Spider-Man tilted his head to the side, alternating his gaze between Twilight and Hulk. You could do that without the others. Nodding, Twilight stepped away from Spider-Man. Yes, I can still feel the presence of my bonds. My connection with my friends hasn't changed despite how far apart we are from each other. Our bonds are inseparable. Our spirits are forever linked by the strength of our friendship. Conference! I need a conference here. Alright, everybody together here. Okay. I've got everybody who's important to my side, my way of thinking has gathered all together in one place. Alright, let's first hear from Wild Fanboy. I can't freaking believe this! This is a complete discrimination to all continuity everywhere! Why do we ever invite you to meetings? Alright. Logical side around continuity. Go! Well, one of the things that we did love about Equestria Girls was the fact that Twilight was able to use the elements of harmony, especially the element of magic, to connect her friends' spirits with the spirits of her friends back in Equestria, as she realized that the magic of friendship stayed with her no matter where, and it did not matter what her friends looked on the outside. What was important was the spirit within. Thus, she realized the important lesson that her friends would always be there with her, and the most important thing that aligned them was the power of her heart, which is, of course, what she's trying to stay here. I see. Character side. Well, I say this. Here's the important problem with this whole entire idea, is that Twilight is trying to establish some strong bonds of friendship. However, for the past 44 chapters, we haven't really established Twilight being a close friends. Also, they have said that, and we know from the stories in the show that they are close friends. However, I argue that in spite of that, we never see them bond together with that information. All we've been seeing is Twilight trying to get into Peter's pants. In a sense, they're basically saying that this is an evolved attribute, that Twilight's friendship has just been something that has been added. We do not feel her friendship. For all we know, she's just making this shit up as she goes along. I see. Enraged Fanboy. Your dialogue? I can't believe we're sitting through this! Why are they changing so much of this? Why are they putting in these random colors and costumes? I hate this! I hate this game! I hate this story! I hate this movie! What movie are you referring to? I'm referring to Spider-Man Homecoming! And why are you hating that? They added a small little black light to Spider-Man's outfit! God, I hate it! You see, uncaring fanboy, this is why nobody invites you to parties anymore. I see. Well, my personal opinion is that this might work. I feel like having it all going on to Twilight without the rest of the Equestrian girls does kind of make it feel like it's an afforded attribute for one, and two, you just made the girls feel useless.
Thank you.
And in a way, you also kind of confirmed the fears of what people were worried about when Twilight became the Princess of Friendship in the first place. Even though I keep saying that's not how it works. My favorite was always the ones that kept saying, now Twilight's friends and streets are useless. Don't let you watch One Piece. You'll probably think that Luffy's friends and streets are useless because he wants to become Pirate King. Well, they are! I mean, sure, not all of Luffy's friends and streams are different, but since Luffy's going to become Pirate King at the end of the series, that means all of their dreams are BANG! And furthermore, where are Twilight's friends' points in a battle? I mean, you can BANG! Anybody else want to piss me off? Straining Twilight grit her teeth. I'm going to do my own fursuit of the Harmony Ray. Rainbow of Light! It won't nearly be as powerful as the real thing, but it's to be more than enough to free the Hulk. I just need time. Spider-Man just heard a thumbs up. Consider it done! Flipped across the room, landing next to Spike. Twilight's got a plan, but we need to give her a little time. Want you to protect Twilight and make sure nothing gets close to her. I'll keep the Hulk busy. The Hulk finally ripped the webbing from his face, clearing his vision, and his rays remained firm. Evident by the glare, he aimed at Spider-Man. Spike nodded, heeding Peter's advice. The dragon walked over to Twilight, spread his wings, and lowered him to his body, shielding her as he towered over her. The Hulk walked in Spider-Man's direction, tightening his fists with each step he took. He quickened his pace to a hasty jog, prompting Peter to mirror his action. This Hulk was close enough he threw a wild punch. The Spider-Man ducked underneath the blow, quickly grabbed up the massive arm. Using his momentum, Peter swung around and landed squarely on the Hulk's broad shoulders. Remaining there in a squatting position, Hulk reached up, but Spider-Man wrapped his head in webbing and shot several strands to the ceiling, pulling them together. Hulk attempted to pull his arms down, but Spider-Man delivered a series of punches to his unguarded jaw, finishing with a leaping double kick to the center of the forehead. Once Spider-Man landed at his feet, he continued his assaults and punches, this time aimed for the Hulk's stomach. Do me a favor! Be a cooperative little mountain and just go! He yelled before Hulk freed one of his arms and punched Spider-Man in the chest, sending him flying to the nearest wall with a smack. Spider-Man groaned, holding his hand over his throbbing cranium. Down! Hulk freed his other arm before running across the room. The moment he reached Spider-Man, he lowered his shoulder. However, Peter slid underneath the Hulk's feet, saw a pair of web strands to the back of his ankles, and yanked with a great deal of strength, causing the green monster to fall face first through the wall. Hulk freed himself, turning sharply to grab Spider-Man, but Peter swung his body around, shooting webbing into the attacker's face. Hulk reached for the enemy, but Peter pulled his arm back, webbing it tightly in place. Hesitated, Hulk attempted to rip the webbing from his extended arm with his free hand, but Peter flipped in front of the adversary, lunged forward, and tackled the monster to the ground, following up by unleashing a larger wave of webbing around his entire body and sticking to his head. Once his web cartridge was depleted, Spider-Man exhaled and shook his head. Sorry, Hulk. No smashing today. Hulk's hand freed itself from the cocoon with a shrill, ripping sound. He snarled as he tore at the bodies that held prisoner. And once the other arm was freed, the Hulk roared, swiftly slapping his hands together. A shockwave rushed out, stinging Peter's senses to the core. Spider-Man's hands filled over his face as his scared mind attempted to mute the high-pitched ring that attracted his eardrums. Disoriented, Peter could not defend himself as the Hulk drove his huge fist into his torso, sending Spider-Man into the wall with enough force to imbue his figure as steel. The Hulk pulled Spider-Man free, only to throw Peter over his shoulder into the ceiling. Before Spider-Man could recover, the Hulk jumped, slamming the smaller man into the ceiling. Both individuals landed on the second floor in a mangled heap. Peter groaned, yanking his body having multiplied. He could do nothing as the Hulk snatched him up and threw him through the hole in the floor, returning Spider-Man to the first floor. Bouncing off his back, Peter landed on his stomach and coughed violently as he struggled to take in oxygen through his bruised chest. Come on, Peter. Just a little more time, Peter whispered before the Hulk landed behind his position. Shaking his head, Spider-Man stole a glance across the room. Spike continued to seal Twilight. His glowing figure emitted a bright light above the sun's. Don't worry, Twilight. I won't let you down. Oh, the things I do for love. He chuckled, planting his feet and forcing himself to stand. Spider-Man stood with his shoulders slouched, panting as the Hulk towered over him. Hulk, how about giving me a handicap? The only response Peter received was a light punch, the blow sending Peter scrying across the floor until he stopped near Spike and Twilight. Getting his fist on the ceiling, Pierre fought back with races of consciousness. I guess handicap's another word for coffin for you. The Hulk's breathing grew ragged. He stood back, shaking his head defiantly, but his resistance diminished. Taunting the monster stepped over Spider-Man. Hulk reached down before pulling Pierre up by the collar of his costume, holding him in the air. Gritting his teeth, looking conflicted, filled his green eyes in yellow. Hulk no like fighting Bugman! He strained, requiring his clenched yet trembling fist back. Bugman Hulk's friend! But Hulk will still smash! No! Twilight screamed, causing a shockwave to erupt around her body. Spike was blown back by the force. He slunk his claws into the steel ground to keep himself from moving any further. Hulk remained undeterred, shifting his glare to the girl and keeping a ground grip on a limp Spider-Man. The color of Twilight's eyes were gone, hidden behind a quiet, flowing light. Magic rushing from her body was furious, sending strong gusts throughout the vicinity and leveling her cape to flap at his mercy. Oh, by the way, Vic, finally you've given me some badass Twilight! Now go back and rewrite the other 44 chapters. Holding her hands out, Twilight snarled at Hulk, voice disoriented. Put him down! Now! Hulk frowned, furrowing his brow. He put his hand dropping Spider-Man. Fine, he growled, stopping forward. Roaring, the green monster sprinted towards Twilight. Hulk smash you instead! With her arms extended to her side, Twilight lifted him from the ground. The Hulk instantly jumped into the air, roaring as he reached out for the girl, but Twilight disappeared, reappearing inches from the monster the second he landed. She reached to place the tip of her fingers on Sarah's forehead before he could react. Energy from her body rushed into the Hulk, causing him to glow like a beacon of light. The jewel on Twilight's crown emitted a light as he reared her for a glowing hand back. She lunged forward to Hulk's chest, triggering a chain reaction of sorts in the explosion. Hulk screamed as he vanished in a cloud of smoke, a massive rainbow escaping from within to the outside of the helicarrier. Powerful shockwave knocked Twilight away from the explosion that occurred. Spider-Man captured the girl in his arms before Spike emerged, shielding the pair in his large frame. The energy of the blast rushed out, consuming everyone in the vicinity. Applejack's eyes shot open, her heart rate having sped up. She stepped away from her outfit looking, directing her emerald gaze to the sky. She peeked down, her brow furrowing a small weight around her neck. Mary inhaled sharply, her sight casting the appearance of a familiar jewel. Look, Neutralizing, she murmured, stroking the smooth surface of her necklace. Why do I have my ailment all of a sudden? Huh? Raymond blurted out, glancing out to the side of the mailmare. Therapy constantly shuffled through her bag. Rainbow's rose-colored eyes widened as he spied her old necklace materializing around her neck. Therapy, oblivious, continued to search through her mailbag. Dash raised her brow, baffled at the phenomenon. Where the heck did this come from? What in the world? Melody cried out, stepping back from the stove with royal eyes fixed on her necklace. Shaybell tilted her head to the side, keeping her seat at the table. Mouth agape. Mary shared an equally perplexed glance over her sister. I'm not sure. Pinkie Pie held her necklace gently in her hoof, all the while keeping her gaze fixed on the outside of her window. Her entire body shook, quivering before coming to an abrupt stop. But her nerves still on edge, perhaps due to the heightened state of her senses. She nodded eagerly, refusing to relinquish her hold on the element of harmony. Feels like it's doozy. Something's wrong. Fluttershy yelped, accidentally dropping a plate from her sink. She scattered across the floor, but the mare paid it no mind at all. All of a sudden, her attention centered on a necklace that magically appeared over her chest. More tingling sensation coursed through her body, something that only happened when her friends were nearby. Concern filled Fluttershy's eyes. I hope everything's okay. The dust slowly settled within the helicarrier. Spike opened his wings and took a step back, allowing Spider-Man and Twilight to leave from under his body. Pierre's masked lenses widened at the sound of the girl's deep intakes of breath. Large bags formed under her eyes. Her chest rose and descended rapidly. Her exhaustion clearly evident. Twilight leaned her head against Spider-Man's chest, with her eyes half closed as he continued to hold her prior style, struggling not to surrender to the grasp of unconsciousness. Muscles in her body grew weak. Pierre wasn't currently holding Twilight in his arms. She would collapse on the spot. Twilight nodded off, shaking her head to maintain consciousness. That took a lot more out of me than I thought it would. Her glossy eyes peeked up to meet with the bug-like lenses fixed on her. Did it work? Where's the Hulk? Spider-Man and Spike directed their gazes towards the area where the Hulk stood. A being stepped free from the cloud of smoke, remnants of Twilight's magical energy falling from the scrying figure. The skin was now pale, no longer green. Every shred of muscle on his body vanished. Purple pants on his legs were baggy, barely able to stay to his waist. Fell to a knee, sweat pouring from his forehead. But his strength was sapped, leaving the man to collapse in exhaustion. Spider-Man nodded as he let out a relieved sigh. Yeah, it worked. Dr. Banner's back to normal. He chuckled, nuzzling the girl gently. Way to go, Twilight. She giggled weakly, only to nod in response. Spider-Man turned to Spike. We should head back to Sanctum Sanctorum before a series of blasts scattered across the floor, causing Spike and Spider-Man to recoil sharply. Spider-Man soared into the room, extending his hands to Spike from midair. Missiles rose from his shoulder plates, each aimed at the dragon. Thor floated to the room gracefully from a destroyed wall, swinging his hammer in a circular motion upon landing. Captain America and Wolverine sprinted across the room, one with his shield poised, while the other unsheathed his claws from his knuckles with a snick. Spike stood with his eyes wide, alternating his green gaze between the four heroes. Fortunately, before they could lay waste to the dragon, Spider-Man stepped from behind Spike's body, revealing his of Twilight's presence. Holy guys! Spike's my friend! Spider-Man declared, staring a brief glance with the dragon before directing his gaze back to the group of heroes. I know it's been quite some time, but it's me, Spider-Man! Iron Man cheerfully shouted, retracting his weapons back to his armor. Captain America shook his head, keeping his shield close. Careful, Tony. This could be a trap. How do we know it's really him? Thor stared intently at Spider-Man, blue eyes piercing through his soul. Aye, it has been several years since we have seen our friend. For your sake, I hope you are truly Spider-Man. For wearing his uniform without his consent is a high act of disrespect. Okay, the truth is I'm Miles Morales. Spider-Man chuckled nervously. Aw, so you guys did miss me. This whole time I thought you guys hated me. When did you ever get that idea? Shh! Wolverine growled, walking up until his distance from Pierre. You sound as irritating, Spider-Man. He slowly walked around the young man, taking a few steps over each step. After a few moments, Logan stopped in his tracks, eyes wide as he stared at Spider-Man. If one looked closely, he could spot a ghost of a smile on the rough man's face. Well, I'll be damned. You really are Spider-Man. He paused. I better make sure, though. Who served us roasted pie? My aunt. You were in my house. Spider-Man stayed, glancing out the side. That was weird, by the way. Iron Man's lips lifted on his own, revealing the features of Tony Stark. No, kid. What's weird is that you disappeared for 4 years and came back with a giant pet dragon. Spike frowned, pointing at the armored man defensively. I'm not his pet, I'm his little brother. Tony blinked. Oh, and it talks. That's unexpected. Tilting his head, Spike shook at Tony questioningly. Of course I talk. Do you think I'm stupid or something? Spider-Man shook his head, directing gaze to Captain America and Thor. There's a lot I need to brief you guys on. I can also tell you what's going on with Norman Osborn. Dr. Strange and Twilight can help explain what's going on. Spider-Man's masked lenses widened slightly as the sound reached his ears. He peeked down and saw Twilight fast asleep in his arms, level of breathing indicating her slumber. Not for his mask designed to hide his facial features, everyone would see Pierre's eyes curl in a warm smile. I'd like to introduce you all to my girlfriend, but she's excited for taking down the Hulk. Tony stepped forward, placing his hand over Spider-Man's shoulder. Well, we can't let the lady sleep here. Plus, I doubt the Helicarrier would make for a good headquarters right now. Tony glanced off to the side. Jarvis, prepare a few rooms for Stark Tower. We'll be having guests tonight. Also, give Steven a call and tell him to come to Stark Tower in the morning. 9. Iron Man motioned his hand to everyone around him before walking off. Follow me, stay in a single file. We got a lot to talk to you about this morning.